Hello my dear Glamour fams, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video we are going to be making a purse with these pink beads, and then we are going to be needing a fishing line. This is the size 0.7 mm. That's the size we are going to be using, and then we are going to be using some scissors for cutting out of our fishing line. And then this is a sewing kit I'll use for making the inner lining. So let's get started. So we are going to start with cutting out a fishing line, the ones that our hands can handle. After cutting this out, then we get beads. We're going to start with 4 beads, and we string all the 4 beads onto the fishing line like so. After that, you pick up one bead and pass the other end of the fishing line into the bead. You put the two ends together so that you can make the both lines equal, and then stretch it out so that we have our first flower. So this is the first stage of the matting. That is it. So we have a complete flower, and then we continue with 3 beads. We add one bead each to each end of the fishing line. We just put 1 bead each like so. Those are 2 ends. Then we use 1 to cross the both ends together. This is the second flower, the second part, the number 2 on the line. Yeah, we'll continue again with 3 beads. You pass 1 bead each on each end of the fishing line, and you cross with 1 bead like so, and you have the 3rd flower. So that's how we are going to continue putting 1 bead each to each end of the fishing line. You put 1 bead till we complete this first stage. Add 1 bead to each end of the fishing line, then you cross it with the other bead, with the last bead. So you continue using 3 beads, add 1 bead to each end of the fishing line, you cross with 1 bead. Okay, continue like that, continue your own like that till we finish the stage. Over here we've completed the stage, so we are going to, I have 12 lines, so this is the 13th line. And what I did is that I added 3 beads on one end of the fishing line. I added all the 3 beads on one end because I want to turn this fishing line. I want it to turn over to the top side, so I add all the fishing line to one end, then I cross it over with the other end like so. So I just continued with 3 other beads, with 3 beads now. After I have crossed it over, I added 3 beads. I'm sorry that you can't see what I'm doing very clearly. So this is the second line. See, I have 3 beads up there now, so I am going to add 3 beads on this line, this particular line. Now I will add 3 more beads to it. I want to turn it back inside, so I want the end of this bag to have like a V shaped. That is why I'm doing this. If not, on a normal bag you don't really need to do this, but I want it to have a V shaped, curvy shape at the bottom. So that is what I'm doing. I want to get the curve at the bottom, so I'm just going to pass this fishing line through the beads to get back to the first one that we started with on this second line. So just do it like this till you get to this particular one here. So I am also going to cross the other end to get to that particular one that we started with. Now that we have gotten to that place, to that particular first one, we are going to take this particular end of the fishing line, the one at the bottom, and cross it to the next bead like so. The next bead on the base of of the last matting we just finished. We cross it there, and then the one at the top we add 2 beads. Now we are going to be working with 2 beads. Add 2 beads and cross it with the second bead, not 3 beads this time, 2 beads. Add 1 bead, cross it with the second bead. Then the bead at the fishing line at the bottom, you still pass it through the next bead, add 2 bead on the one on top, and then you cross it. The one on top is the one facing where there is no bead. The one at the bottom is where the matting, the main works are. So that is the one you are going to be passing through the next bead. The one on top, you keep adding 2 beads to it. Keep adding 2 beads and cross with the second bead. You see the one at the bottom, you pass it through the next bead. The one on top, you add 2 beads. On this stage, we only need 2 beads because our fishing line is coming out on 2 beads. So we just need 2 beads to complete the 4 flower. So they are sharing 2 beads in common on this stage. Now you keep adding 2 beads to complete the flower, 2 beads to complete the flower. So keep doing this till we get to the 12th bead. So we add 2 beads and cross it over. I want to show you how I'm going to complete this stage. That is why I want you to take note of what we are doing here. So we add 2 beads again to complete this pattern. The next line, this is the second line, is going to be 15 on the row. The first one was 13. I'm sorry I didn't show you the counting, but you can watch my other videos to see how you count these things. You add 3 beads now to complete this line. I'm just going to tie it because my fishing line got short, so I'm going to tie it over here. And after tying the knot, you are going to pass the fishing line through the beads in a zigzag format. Please don't pass it through a straight form. If not, the fishing line you are passing will be visible. So you are going to pass it in a zigzag format. Pass it through the beads as many times as you want. It also makes your work stronger, and it's not going to pull. Your work is not going to loosen. So you keep passing it through the beads in a zigzag form. Please don't pass it through straight line. After passing it, you are going to cut it out with a scissors, and you repeat the same thing for the other end of the fishing line. So now we have cut out another fishing line, and we are just going to continue from the top bead, the first bead on the top right there. You just pass the fishing line through the first bead on the top like so. Then you are going to add 3 beads to it. Add 3 beads to one end of the fishing line. The one on the outer part of the work is what you are going to pass the bead through. That fishing line that is on the outer part of the work is the part where there is there is no bead. Then the inner part is the part where all the works are facing. I don't know if that makes sense, but you are going to pass it on the outer part of the fishing line. On the outer part of the work is where you are going to put all the 3 beads. Then you are going to cross it with the one on the inner part of the work like so. You cross it. Now you have your fishing line on the top and the bottom again. So the bottom fishing line, you are going to pass it through the next bead. Please don't skip any bead on the base. You pass it through the next bead on the base there. Then you add 2 beads. You continue adding 2 beads on this step. add 2 beads on the one on top. The one on top, you add 2 beads. Then the one at the bottom, the fishing line at the bottom, you use it to cross the second bead. My fishing line got tangled at this point, so I'm just trying to stretching it out. Pass the fishing line through the next bead like so, and then you add 2 beads to the one on top again. Continue working like this till we get to the end of the stage. Just continue adding two beads to the one on top, cross it with the one on the bottom. Now that we are on the last bead on the bottom, when you pass that fishing line through, what you are going to use to continue now is the bead at the bottom. You are not going to add it on the top bead, you add it to that same bottom bead that you crossed over, so that because we want our work to turn up so that we can start from the next line. Then the fishing line that is on the outer corner, you add 3 beads again just to start the next stage. Add 3 beads, then cross it with the bottom bead fishing line, and then you continue. Now you have it up and down again. Then you continue working with the bottom bead, you cross it on the next bead, add 2 beads to the top bead, you continue adding two beads till you finish this line. So now please, you are going to continue working on your own. We have already done 1 2 3 4 lines, and you are going to continue till you get to 8 lines by the height. We want the height to be on 8 lines. Now we have completed the work. This is it. It's already on 8 line. I made 2 of these, and I built up the side of one by 2 places. I'm sorry I did not make a video of how I built up the line, but you are going to learn it in another video. I mean how I built up the side. So we are going to join these 2 beads, the 2 sides together. I have my fishing line on one end, and then I'm just going to use 1 bead. I put it on the one on top, and then I'm going to cross it on the top bead here, or the first corner bead there. Then I will add 1 bead more and cross the both lines on it, if that makes sense. So you pass it through the beads on each of the sides of the bag. One bead is what you are going to be adding this time around. You add 1 bead, pass the fishing line through each bead on the side like so. Pass it through each bead on the side, then you add 1 bead, you cross it over with 1 bead. You only need to be adding 1 bead till you complete this process. You pass the fishing line on both sides of the work. You pass one end through one side, pass the other end through the other side of the work, then you join it, you cross over with one bead, continue working like this till you finish joining the whole body of the bag. Please just continue the process. So this is the flap I made for the bag, and we are joining the bag. So we are going to add this flap. We are going to join the flap to the bag, to the body of the bag right now, and just use the same process that you used in joining the bag to join the flap. The way you added one bead to one end of the fishing line, you pass it to the other part of the bag, then you cross it over with another bead. You keep passing it through the both sides of the bag. Pass the one end to this part, you pass the other end to the other part, then you cross it with one bead. Continue doing it till you get to the end of the flap. Please, it's going to be the same lines with the bag. The width of the bag is 15, so you make the width of the flap 15, and the ending part is going to be 13, just like the bag, because I want it to also have the curve at the end of the flap. Now I also made this little decoration I want to add to the front of the flap, to the top part of the flap. I'm just going to add it anyway, and we are going to make the hook that will attach the handle to. So this me making the hook for the handle. The beading method is just the same. Add 2 beads because there is already one at the bottom. You add 2 beads, cross it with the 3rd bead, add 2 beads, cross it with the 3rd bead. We are going to do this twice. Then we are going to add that hook over there to the fishing line. Put the both end of the fishing line together and pass the hook through it. I'm sorry that you can't see what I'm doing. I did not know that the camera was positioned wrongly, so please pardon me for that. Then after that, you are going to put 1 bead on one end of the fishing line, pass it to the next bead on the bottom of the flap of the flap bag. I mean the flap, just the flap. Yes, the next bead there is what you are going to pass it through. Then you add 1 bead to the other end of the fishing line, and you tie it very secure and pass the fishing line through the bag. Just pass it so that your work will not come undone. Do the same thing for the other side of the bag, please. On the same measurement, the same place you did this one, you also did it on the other side. We are done with that, and we have attached the handle. Making the handle is not difficult. So guys, this is the end of the bag. I hope you like it as much as I do. It's just a simple bag you can carry to any occasion, or to even a hangout with your friends or your partner. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe and God bless you. Bye. Mwah.